All right, folks. Got a free spot here. I'm waiting for parts for that thing. So, and Damien still hasn't quite finished his truck. So, for now, I think what I want to do is bring in my Model A because we got a free hoist to do stuff on. So, my Model A outside. The plan is to bring that in. I have a whack of parts out there. I have what I would like to do. This motor, whatever, well, not so much this motor, but that whole combo. I have, I think, a Borg Warner 5-speed that I want to put behind that. Yeah, we're basically want to just smash stuff together, see where I'm at, see what I got to do. It's kind of like what I want to play with off and on this summer is kind of my plan, that car. Once Damien finishes his truck, I'm bringing the coupe in, and it's going to have its own little permanent spot that we're going to daddle with, but we'll wait. That's going to come in the next week or so. I'm thinking in the next week or two, he should be kind of getting buttoned up with that thing, and then I got a space opened up there. So, without any further ado, I guess I got to go take some parts off there so I can actually lift it up and kind of roll that thing into here and see where I'm at. I don't remember when I started that thing, but it was in my old shop, and I don't know how many years ago, so I'm kind of thinking I'm going to want to change some stuff, but we'll bring it in and see. I'll kind of explain the premises of why everything is what it is on there.
Well, what do we have here?
Well, yeah, this is my 28, 29, I don't know, Model A. Yeah. You know what's funny is we were looking this thing up just now, and I realized I started this in 2016.
9 years ago.
I don't know why I stopped. I'm sure there was something.
You got distracted with something else.
It was around the time, was I building my Model A pickup? I don't know, there's a lot of things. I was doing Daryl's Gasser at the time. There's a few things in the shop. I'll try to find some pictures, although it looks about like it does now, but you'll see what it was in the old shop. But I have most of the bits. So anyways, here's my plan for the car, or what I always wanted to do. I've seen some cars done where they kind of get rid of the splash aprons. So normally this car would have like these big, huge splash aprons.
Yep.
So I wanted to get rid of that and give the car the illusion that it was channeled, like, sectioned.
Sectioned, yep.
So my goal here is to basically, I want to run it about here. I want very minimal, maybe an inch or two, like a little bit of a filler, and then do like, a 4-inch chop. So this car will end up, when I'm standing by it, it's only going to be about like that high of the roof, right?
So judging by that, I'll be sitting on the floor and I can't see over the dash.
I don't know. It'll be pretty good.
Yeah.
And then, because it'll still have a lot of room in the car. It'll be like a chopped car, but not channeled. There's no channel. There's no actual sectioning of it. So it'll actually be, in my eyes, it'll be pretty roomy inside. But so in doing that, what I had started to do was raise all these fenders up. But you can see it causes there's a lot of weirdness that I didn't anticipate at the time when I was doing it. So I still have to work through that. I might just do a tub, but because of the way the fenders go on, it posed some problems. So the rear diff is, I think it's S10. I don't remember. I don't think it's an 8.8. I think it's an S10 diff. So the way I was doing it is just the spring behind. So that's going to be my suspension and my like panhard bar. And then I did a 2-link. So I have like 2 trailing arms running on the outside. I think what got me was I wasn't sure. You can't see that. They kind of mount up by the door. Because I thought my transmission would be around there. So I'm just a little mixed on it because I don't know if it's going to cause issues with flex.
Right.
Now they are rubber bushings, so they can't interfere. But I at the time, my suspension design stuff. I mean, I took the idea that it'd be like a truck, but the truck I always go when I do a 2-link. I always do them V'd in. So I always V in so that it can flex like the truck because it kind of works off a pivot, and then it should be fine. When I go over here, it's going to bind, but I don't know how much it's really going to travel. So I'm not sure. I'm kind of like scratching my head if I'm going to change that. Because even if I do this spring setup on a Model A or something, I usually run like a trailing arm coming in. So I don't know if I would narrow it in and come to the center, but then I don't know about messing up my floors. So I'm a little mixed. Right now I feel like it's going to be like a quad, like it's just a swing arm. It doesn't. I know it would go because I have done it. I just don't want things to break.
Yeah.
And hopefully when it's all done, you don't really see any of it because you can see the arm here.
Yeah.
So that's there. The front's like split wishbone. So like I did a small kick up, the springs in the back. So like that to me looks good, minimal. Like I guess a guy could put a rear seat. I don't care about that.
No.
The front I did split bones, but I made up my own front drop in the frame.
Let's look here.
So you can kind of see, this is way back, but I made a kick up. So that's some 2x3.
Oops.
Nah, they're not mounted. It's okay. So the idea is I was just going to have these fenders on. I kind of would like to see, I'm going to go dig around the yard here yet. These are like 28, 29. And I'm thinking a 30, 31 fender would be nicer because it would.
Got a different shape.
Yeah, I like this because it follows the wheel. Because when you do a 30, 31, this arch just goes straight back. So you kind of get a weirdness. But I'm wondering if it would fill this section a little nicer. Otherwise, I'm going to have to make some kind of a filler in there.
Right.
So that's my plan.
So how far are you planning to take this one?
This one, I always say it's going to be a quick, not really, but no, I want to fully build it. This is kind of what I want to mess around with in the summer, like bounce around. We're still waiting on parts on your car. And then we're waiting on, I may have found a transmission and stuff for the Dodge.
Right.
So I might be able to, I'm getting some parts for that one, so I'll be able to bring that one in and kind of figure it out. But yeah, this one's like, I plan to do swinging pedals. I plan to, I don't know if it's going to be a permanent thing, but I think for now I'm experimenting with this. I picked up this supercharger. I don't know if I've talked about this or not, but I picked up this supercharger and I'm trying to see if I can adapt it onto here. So what it was originally on a big block Chevy. So they had it with a TBI. Whatever it was, that's how it was set up as a kit. They bolted onto the original intake on like a big block Chevy. So anyways, price was pretty cheap. So
you were pretty excited to find that.
So I scooped it. I grabbed like a 4-barrel carb intake for an LS because I felt like I can modify this and just this bottom plate comes off, so I could weld it to this. And then I could probably take like a throttle body plate and make an adapter and just stick that in the back. And then this had provisions. I couldn't find one that's cathedral port that had the injector holes already in it.
Right.
I mean, they may have been out there, but they were like way more money than I wanted to spend. I think this was like less than $200, this intake. So I had the flat spots, so I'll just machine them to stick my injectors in and then do my own fuel rails. So anyways, hindsight, I just want to experiment with this, and I think this would be a hoot to do it in this car. In the big picture, I want it to be closed hood and stuff. I don't think it's going to with this, but that might be just fun to play with for now, and then I'll take it off and put a different intake on it. But so I have this, and then I got that, like I was saying, a Borg Warner, like a 5-speed from a Camaro.
Yep.
So I was going to mate that to the back. I think Rolly's found me some pedals, so we're going to do swinging pedals, like from a Jeep, like a YJ or something. That's the plan. So I have most of the bits. I'm going to, like I say, when I'm running yard, I want to see if I have different fenders. We have some rust repair. I notice this door is missing its latching hardware. This one has it, but Ray dropped off a couple doors, so I might, it has the hardware in it, but the one door might be better than the one I got, so I might swap the door out. He says they're both Model A, so, but that one's like the driver's door, and it, you know, it's got a big dent, but it's not rusty.
Yeah, they look pretty nice shape.
For me, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
But it does have all the bits I'm missing on that door, so I think I have a grill. I mean, if I have to, I'll use one of those torched ones, but I for some reason think I have a grill in the shop yet, like around the proper era for this thing. I don't know why I think I have it out here, but I know I always see that one. Oh yeah, there's one right here.
Found it?
So I'll probably go, so do this. I know I have a rad that I bought at the swap meet. No, not swap meet, at Back to the 50s. I'm just watching us. They're trying to walk backwards.
Not sure about anything.
I'm pretty sure I have a drop axle somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
This is not dropped, so I'm hoping this is the height that it'll go. So I feel by the time I put a spring in and put a drop axle in, I should still maintain the car about that height. It's kind of my thought.
That is going to be cool.
I don't know what I got for lights. I have a few.
You have a
Oh,
few?
there's actually a set of stock Model A ones. I think I got those for my truck, but whatever.
They will work.
Yeah. Because I have these. These would be really cool, but I think I want to save them for my coupe because they got the cool little signals on.
Oh, I love those.
And then this when I redo my Model T. Not mine, but I want to build
Another one.
a copy of my T.
Yep.
Instead of the 32 lights, I might go with these big, I think they're Chrysler or something huge.
They're massive.
And these ones are weird, but they're pretty cool. I don't know, they're like Oakland or something. I don't have a clue. I don't really know. Anyways, yeah, it's kind of the project. I think my goal for today is to go through what I got. I have like this bench that's been holding parts forever. So on Marketplace, I've just been finding, there's a couple of fellers that has stuff for sale for like Model A's and stuff like that. So it ended up, this one dude had like disc brakes, drop spindles and all this like good stuff. So I basically just want to smash that all on my car. I think we were doing Trevor's and the drop, oh, it's not even a drop. I think I have a drop axle yet outside. I'm hoping I don't have to drop one.
That would be cool.
So I was going to drop that. I'm going to take most of this stuff off. I'm thinking this bench might actually work good for the coupe to sit on.
Yeah, you've been talking about needing something for it to...
That'll be a nice motorized bench that I can put it on.
Yep, move
I
it
got a
around.
couple Model A springs. So yeah, I think I'm pretty set for parts just to kind of get it back into a roller. So yeah.
Get a good start on it.
Yeah, I gotta find a window frame, and I might steal it from one of my other bodies for right now. I don't want to make one if I don't have to. If I have a good one, that's good.
Then you'll use it.
So yeah, I don't know. Should be fun. I think it's gonna be fun. I like hot rods, and they're fun, and they're a lot easier, less cares to do. Especially these, they're always rough. I like them rough, like
Yep.
in the hot rod. But yeah, so next thing I do, I'm just gonna see if I have some 30-31 fenders. So I'm gonna go run around outside, see if I can find something.
Go shopping in the yard.
Yeah, I want to get those just to get things mocked up. I got the bones there, so I'm thinking I have stuff where I want. Because I had there's the Model A, stock Model A hood, so I'm really hoping I can fit everything in those confinements. I don't want to stretch anything out,
Yeah.
but the rads usually always, in my eyes, they always sit about where the axle is, because then I can still run a spreader bar and do the stock style lights and stuff.
Yep.
So, and I want that to fit in here, but I don't really care if I got to cut this back. We kind of are doing that on Trevor's car, so the same thing may happen on here.
Yeah.
Because I'll have to run something in the back if I do fuel injection just to do that. Like, I know it's gross putting an LS in here, but I would run it. It's like my T pickup. The goal is to have this closed hood and you don't actually see any of it. So
Right.
they're fun motors, so,
Yeah.
and cheap. So well, I don't have a few, but I have some.
You have some.
I have those 2 6-liters, but it's like, I kind of want to try to do this one, but the heads are probably junk. This is the one that was in my coupe in the shop.
Oh.
So we opened it up, but I didn't go any further than that. I don't know how much damage is to anything in there. I guess I'm willing to just throw a gasket set in there and a set of heads and like
You see what happens.
I'm willing to do that. It either works or it doesn't.
Yep.
But anyways, I'm gonna go outside and do some shopping because these fenders don't work, especially this one. I was experimenting. I think when I was doing my T pickup or something at one time, I was experimenting with putting an old Mustang 2. Guys used to always use like the Mustang, like a true Mustang 2, like somebody cut it out and tried to get it to bolt in. But then I found the control arm sat really high and you had to cut your fenders and make these square blocks. And then it just got really gross and I just didn't like it. So it's like I've tried using that Mustang 2 clip on a lot of stuff and it just never works out.
Nope.
I think when they make them for the Model A's, there's something different where it kicks the arm out that it follows the fender and stuff. So they got maybe a smaller upper arm or whatever. But anyways, yeah, I'm just babbling on. So
Okay.
I'm gonna start
Go shopping.
go shopping. I want to get that done. Possibly start carving up this firewall and trying to roughly mock things up and see what's going to happen.
Your wheels are turning, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a new project. It's a new old
You're all
project that I
fired
haven't
up, yeah.
finished it.
Yeah.
I think this is like one of the last ones that I really started like a stupid long time ago.
A really long time ago. Yeah. I don't know what happened.
Because it was the 49 and this one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I got that other Model A, and then when I was driving home, I had this outside already, but I was driving home, and then I realized that 3031 sedan, it was like dented and super rough, but it was like, oh, that car's like way nicer than this one. I should have done that. And then maybe it all stalled. Who knows?
Who knows? You
But-
got distracted for
Yeah.
9 years.
All right.
Sounds good.
Oh, look at that thing there, eh? All right. It's a little windy. I got 3 places I could possibly have this stuff, so sorry about the wind. I'm just using a different camera for this stuff, so let us see. I have stuff back here. That's my plan this summer, is to kind of organize everything all in a little better than what I got. Kind of move all my sheet metal into one place. There's a fender there, but that's not good. That one's like the coupe one, but it's stupid rough. Alright, so I'm thinking, unless not sure what this one is. Kind of covers this area. Mental note. Alright. Let's make our way over to the other spot, because it is absolutely muddy here. Okie dokie. So, this front looks like I have another really rough. I don't even know. That's not a Model A. These are T's. This one might be Model A. I don't think they had. There's one there, but I don't think that's right because it's got a like a welded seam on it. That one's a T. I didn't pay attention to my rear fenders, but got one there. There's another rough, really rough one right there. Okay, so I got this. Oh, there's two Model A fenders over there, rear ones. So we'll see how mine are. I'm not sure. This thing has front fenders. Yeah. Okay, and I think I got some out here yet. Coupe. So that's fine. Nothing in there. Here's another one. Man, I could run dual spare tires. Oh, like that looks Model A-ish. This one does not, because of this hump. That one's got a lot of stuff attached to it, but oh, and we got another rear fender. Man, look at me go. Don't worry about rear fenders. Huh. That's got a lot of, I don't know. I'll have to see how close this is to, I don't know if that's Model A, because look at this. I don't think Model A's had this little graphic in there. Interesting. I'm gonna check this other one quick. Yeah, this one's different. It's got a lip around it. Oh. I don't think those are the same. Alright. I guess I don't have any fenders. I thought I did. At least not rear fenders. Or front fenders. Oh, there's a set. Oh, these are 28, 29. Really rough. Really, really rough. Got this one. Soon. I am just looking for this. This is what I need. Alright, in the shed for a little bit of shopping. I vaguely remember we'll need a clutch and a few things, but not right now. Got a few of those. Oh. Do I have a slave cylinder on the end of that? Why, yes I do. Look at this. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Mental note. This. I remember I had a kingpin set. So we need those so we can put that axle together. I'll have to polish that up a bit. I think eventually we do shocks. We got some F1 stuff here. That'll be good. I do have a Vega box, but I got a couple in the shop, so I'll just use those. And then I have the hub, the spindles, everything are on that other stuff. So that's good. I don't know that I need anything else at the moment. The motor and stuff I'm going to bolt together, but there's not really a care to it at this point. Mopar. Cool. Alrighty. I need pedal, but I'm waiting on those, so that's okay. That can all wait. I have all of these. I'm just kind of curious with that intake. If I can use like a stock. Probably can't, but well, mind you, because that won't fit over anything. Aftermarket it is. Cool. I think I'm done shopping. So we got all our parts spread out. I gotta go find one more axle nut that I can use on there, just so stuff doesn't fall apart. What else? We have our springs. I have bushings, but I don't have shackles. For some reason, I think we used them on Trevor's car, but I can make shackles. That's not a big deal. For the bottom spring hangers, and I have these spring perches, but I don't know if I want to use them on here. We'll see. I do have some that were a little torched, but I'll see how if I can clean these up and then try to use them. This thing too was burnt, so I gotta try to make sure, maybe just ream these to make sure everything's good, that I can actually get parts to fit. So yeah, basically gonna clean this up, try to get all the bits together with a spring hanging. Oh yeah, I can't do that. So probably have to lift up the front and get that attached to the bones. Goal here is just to at least get the front end together and as a roller, close to a roller. If I had 4 tires that held air, would really help the cause. But anyways, first things first, let's put this thing together with some new parts and some old parts. Well, we got the whole front end assembled, so that part's done. Kind of got my, everything is like in, but nothing is bolted, like nothing's tight. Everything's just kind of free floating here. So I do have a reverse eye spring. I think the car is going to be pretty good with this particular spring so far, because I'm going to take some out of that spring pack. But I feel that the ride is kind of close. I want to keep going lower, but it's so weird as I actually do want to try to daily this thing, even winter, whatnot. We'll see. We'll see how it goes yet, but there's no air in the back tires, so this thing's kind of in limbo, but I'm kind of happy where the front's sitting. So we'll kind of sit and wait. I still got to do a cross member and build a cross member for this, but there's like a lot of things that need to happen. Either way, we got disc brakes happening in the front right now. We got our cross steers in place. I did do the shock mounts here, but I don't know if I can, maybe I might be able to like trim these off, heat, bend these, and actually use them as shock mounts. I've seen that done, so I think I'm going to do that here yet. But we need the cross member. I think the next step I'm going to do though is just pull the fuel tank out. We're going to cut the firewall out. I would love to really just get this motor and the transmission just loosely bolted together and kind of slid in and see where it's going to sit in relation to this cross member, so I can figure out roughly how my pedals and stuff are going to work. That's kind of my game plan here. I don't know. We got to revisit everything in the back of this car yet, but I want to... I'm not too worried about any of this right now. I think these trailing arms are going to work, but I'm kind of using the jack just to hold the car up right now. I just want to see how this goes, how my steering is going to go. You can see right now, like if you actually look, and those aren't tight, it's actually rubbing the control arms. So we might have to heat and bend these things a little bit just to get them to clearance everything a little bit better. But anyways, yeah, I think next step, I'm just going to start bolting this stuff together. This motor for sure I'm not using right now, but I might try to repurpose, not these, but I'll go grab some out of the shed, some motor mounts, and don't care about the pulleys and stuff, because at least if I know this thing to spring, we're going to try to make a little bit of room, get it slung in here, hopefully get my pulley with a comfortable amount of room in front, and we'll see how far back it goes. But we'll lose the fuel tank. I'm going to deal with that later. I just want possibly the motor and trans in here and maybe build a cross member, and I think that's going to be the big goal for this round here. As I trip over this hood. I forgot to mention yet, Rolly's been messing around over here. We haven't updated you at all on his car yet, but on Rolly's front, I had cut, man, it seems a little excessive, but I had cut a motor mount because we were trying to fit the steering and we realized it's not working out well. So we've kind of moved, the one motor mount is actually moved ahead so that we can mount the steering box further back and correct this steering. Where I had it, it was actually going to end up steering like over top of it. So I like these to be semi-parallel. They can be back a little bit, doesn't bother me, but we had to move and put the steering box like in this vicinity, and it was like gonna make the steering arm a little bit like do this. I'm sure it would have been fine, but we're in the build stage, so I just decided we'll just kind of remake a motor mount. Essentially the mount went here, we moved it ahead. It's not going to interfere with anything going on in the front, so that part's done. Now we'll be able to like kind of mount this thing up where it kind of like should be, like somewhere, I don't know, we're gonna just pretend somewhere in this vicinity. So that part's no big deal. Can't see too much inside, but anyways, like I worked on the tunnel. Rolly's been kind of working on the floor, starting to do all the side panels. He's built the back panel here, so this is done. We're still going to do like this removable panel that goes over for the fuel tank, so we can get that out, and then he'll be like being able to work these other panels. The big picture though is this thing's going to get like probably about a 4-inch chop, something like that, and yeah, like that rad's going to go there. There'll be a full hood. We just basically tested with these header, like sorry, a head on here. So the steering box is gonna go there. We got to figure all the steering stuff out. We took the firewall off because we decided, originally I had this design that I was gonna do like a pedal under the floor, and we switched around. We're actually gonna do swinging pedals, so we'll have the master mounted up here. So we just needed a cylinder head to see how the exhaust was gonna work and kind of all that jazz. But yeah, he's slowly making progress. It's getting there. On the slow side, but he's getting there. You kind of gotta work at your own pace. Anyways, yeah, so I'm gonna start bolting all these motors, like this motor and tranny together, and we'll kind of get it stuck in the car and see how this works. Well, it's looking like a car here. Look at that. So, I feel that motor's way too tall. It needs to come down. I gotta try to finalize what my ride height is gonna be. So, like the oil pan's probably okay, but if we did the old 2-inch cut, still drop this down. I think we can actually use stock LS mounts, because I think if they were good, we can probably facilitate them in this area somewhere, and then be able to still use like a Vega box up here. I don't know for sure, but I have one over there, so I'm going to kind of see how it is. Most of the time I just put a 2x2 and just run a single bolt is probably more than enough to hold one of these in. But yeah, overall though, the motor I feel is way too tall. I didn't even realize, look at these trannies, they actually mount crooked. How crazy is that? Weird. Anyways, yeah, And then my buddy he welded a bunch of stuff on there. So I think this stock shifter is going to work fine for me. But I want to try to bring this thing down a lot. It'd be nice if this was under the floor. We're going to have to come back with the firewall to figure out where my pedals and all that jazz. But I'd like these to be more in line. I'd like to put it down as far as I can go, because like we have our cowl that's going to be here, but I'd like this down more just so that I can do my intake and get that, like that supercharger isn't going to work well, but I would like to be able to put a regular intake on here at some point. I don't know how much more down I can go. Like I can't bring it too much further. This is about where that cross member is going to go, so we're getting into this vicinity. It might even have to go back a little bit, but overall, this is looking pretty good. Looks promising. I would try to mimic and throw the tank on, but it's actually, that thing is so heavy, it's full of ice. So I'm kind of gotta wait for that to thaw out, and then I basically want to gut most of this. Like I'm not using the tank, although it hasn't been leaking, but I don't know how dirty it is. I'm imagining it's shot because I don't have a cap on it. Part of me, it'd be pretty hilarious to run a fuel injected motor off this tank, but I don't think it's going to work. We'll see, but I don't think so. For the most part, we're going to need to like chop this thing up a bit to make room for the engine and stuff. So we're probably going to go back and do a recessed firewall. So this tank by itself is probably going to go away, and we'll end up running a tank in the back here somewhere. Somewhere we'll do a little something, some tank, and then we can run our fuel pump and all that jazz. That is kind of the plan, but overall, it's working out pretty good. Well, I kind of did a really loosey goose where I think this steering box should go. Kind of do the cross steer. Looks like it's going to be in the way, but we'll probably do like Rolly's car, and I'll just kind of move this motor mount around. Like I can probably move it ahead just a bunch. That way I can get my steering back mounted to the chassis with no interference with stuff for the steering. So that part should be okay. This stuff is going to get like boom stepped back, but kind of on the high side. We're going to end up having like a hydraulic clutch and a master cylinder sitting on there, so that's gonna like be swing pedals on the firewall. But because the motor's here, I'm not 100%. The motor might have to go back another inch, but it's only going to be recessed about yay much into the firewall, so that part's okay. I would just like this to be further down. So I'm thinking this mount is going to have to go ahead. That way the steering box can kind of go right there and won't interfere with stuff or steering. So kind of have a game plan, but we're kind of stuck waiting for my fuel tank to thaw out. Hey, buddy? And well, we got our tires on, so the front's in. Don't have the cross member in. Gonna toy with that. I want to pull some springs out of there yet. But if I don't like the height, I still have that reverse spring I can put in there, and that'll like probably drop this front another couple inches. But for now, I want to play with this and see how everything's going to work as it sits. That is the overall plan. I'm going to find some more tires. This one, like I say, is Chevy, but I did like 2-inch spacers to get the width because those diffs are pretty narrow. And it went to a Ford bolt pattern, so I don't know if I'm just going to get a Chevy spacer just to space it out and just get some Chevy wheels for all around. I don't know. I don't plan to run anything weird other than just steel wheels on this thing. So that part's pretty straightforward and simple. But I think that is where I am going to leave this one for the first round here. We got lots of things to do, but overall, I think I'm going to have a bunch of fun just playing around and trying to smash this together. I think it'll be a hoot once we get it all going, but for now, it's just a goulash of parts. So we got to slowly try to get this thing to be a proper roller, so that's probably coming up next. I think the next round's going to be getting that cross member in, steering box, motor, and trans sitting where it's supposed to be. The rear end's pretty good. It's just from moving around over the years, the mounts have kind of like, they've been all tacked in, but the tacks have broken. So we'll have to revisit, address that, open this up. Like I say, I'd like to get this thing to go down at least another 3-4 inches, which is either I buy an oil pan or I'm going to cut an oil pan like I normally do, just to make sure we don't get anything, you know, below any scrub lines and stuff like that. Because you got to imagine it's got to go through the suspension travel, and we don't want nothing bumping on the ground there. Anyways, as always, folks, I want to thank you all for watching, and we will catch you on the next one, where we'll be for sure doing some more Model A stuff.